Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today we're taking a look at The One Ring, the second edition, and a review of it that was written for the magazine in issue 64 by Richard Jansen-Parkes. This is a game published by Free League, who also sponsored the promotion of this video, so thanks for that. Without further ado, let's get on to the review. Capturing the spirit of Middle-earth in the confines of a tabletop RPG was never going to be an easy prospect, but though some might stumble over its densely packed rulings, Free League's revised version of The One Ring is perhaps the best we've ever seen. Much of this isn't a simple matter of good rules and pretty art, though it has those in spades. Rather, it's a question of feel. Every turn of the page, every roll of the die, and every swing of the blade feels distinctly Tolkien-esque. In practical terms, this means that the game is dense with lore and packed with danger. There's heavy emphasis on journeying with new allies and seeking counsel with the wise. Combat is fast-paced but distinctly dangerous. Magic lingers throughout the world, but its impact is subtle and slight. The game throws its players into the leather boots, elven slippers and bare curly-haired feet of heroes in the land of Eriador, a stretch of Shire-adjacent wilderness stuffed with the legacy of ancient kingdoms. Over the course of the campaign they'll range far and wide, uncovering new wonders and battling lurking threats. All these elements were handled by a web of rules that lean to the more complex side of middleweight. Even the core mechanic requires two different types of custom dice, and though the maths involved in working out target numbers and bonuses is simple, it's still maths. Things only get more involved as you delve into the various systems that handle the heavy lifting. Combat, for example, requires you to keep track of combat proficiencies and the protection rating of your armour, and pick from 4 possible battle stances each round. Travelling involves assigning roles at camp, tracking progress across a hex map, and naming your baggage ponies. This all combines to make a game that requires a degree of thought and contemplation to enjoy. It flows beautifully once you get the hang of it, but there's certainly a learning curve to overcome. Anyone expecting to leap right in and pull off heroic feats or indulge in fantastical comedy shenanigans will be disappointed. Where the first edition of The One Ring was set in optimistic times, just after the death of the great dragon Smaug, this new version takes place a couple of decades later. It is the time just before the start of The Lord of the Rings, at the twilight of the Third Age. There is an underlying sense of melancholy running through the game. Evil is always rising and danger is just around the corner. Even the heroes themselves are shot through with desperation and dread, and every calling, the closest thing the game has traditional classes, has its own shadow path, awaiting them if they step from the light. Champions might be called by vengeance, treasure hunters by dragon sickness. This uneasy feeling is supported by the rules themselves. The way that the numbers fall mean that new, fresh-out-the-box heroes seriously struggle with checks that fall out of their wheelhouse. An elven archer who has neglected their push-ups may be physically incapable of passing an athletics check without the aid of a lucky critical or crucial hope points. Still, The One Ring is far from being moody, old-school, don't name your character till level 3 affair. You are still playing as heroes after all, and rules for assigning shadow points for any dark deeds should keep most parties from descending into murderous mercenary troops. Rather, it's a thoughtful, measured game. It's a game where you can't charge into legions of foes and expect movie logic to kick in. It wants players who can find joy in planning and executing journeys, ones where good rolls are more likely to reward you with a beautiful view of the dawn dancing across the forest than a pile of magical weapons. Honestly, what that means is that, to no one's real surprise, The One Ring is likely to be enjoyed by the folks who enjoy The Lord of the Rings. If you've read The Silmarillion, you'll love it. If you're still on the fence, it's worth noting that The One Ring is a beautiful book. Some of this is thanks to the art, delivered in simple black and white sketches. The most important factor, though, is the quality of the paper and the heft of the book itself. The One Ring is one of the few RPG books that you can describe as a tome without the barest shred of irony. For some, this may be enough to make it a purchase worthwhile all by itself. Should you play it? This is a must-play, a staggeringly beautiful adaptation of Middle-earth. And you should give this a try if you liked Forbidden Lands. If you like the art and style of Forbidden Lands but wanted a slightly less depraved murder, The One Ring might just be right up your alley. Now, just so you know, it is 237 pages, it is suitable for ages 11 and over, and you can pick up a copy for around £40. With that, I would say thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day and we will see you again soon. Don't forget to hit subscribe and don't forget to pick up your own copy of the magazine hidden in the description box. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.